Oh my God, hi. It's like the whole modeling. Excuse me, this is Tyler Hamilton. Let me get a cushion to sit up a little bit better. One moment. This is the outfit. Okay. So, right, this is what we have. Right, see, it's all very magical, you know. Okay, so this is the pillow. Right. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We are going to discuss social arts therapy, social arts theory, theoretical value that comes from the ideal wish that maybe you joined a church. This is my Ukrainian badge, hopefully. You enjoy it. I have a real stack of notes, so I'm going to try to go through this as quick as possible. Now, the New World Christ Church is kind of like the Church of Cock. It's kind of like, um, come as you are, no, perfect people allowed. The church is visionary, futurist, big on social sciences. So Social Alchemy Project is what owns the church. It's really the church of being out. It's open minds, open hearts, open doors, and open legs. We celebrate whoever you are. We believe in social justice prevalence and democracy promotion without force for men that might be in need because of their lives are shattered and they may feel defeated. It's a church of cock. Okay, now in this, I am a gay man, and so I usually am marketing myself as like a girly boy or a sissy or an eccentric uh, social scientist, community organizer, humanitarian missionary, and I swing back over to arts all the time because I sing, I paint, I write, I'm a lyricist, I'm a songwriter, only a couple of songs, nothing big. I was also nominated as Mr. Nude Palm Springs many years ago, and then I lost a lot of lean body mass because I fell in love with crystal meth, Tina, party and play, PNP, and methamphetamine. So as a gay militant activist that I've done work at Voice of Obispo in San Luis Obispo before moving to Santa Barbara, Montecito, and then of course Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, Glendale. I was focusing on, men coming out. And so now Social Alchemy Project is really you self-governing yourself and you having access to your own management because you're now your own alchemist. And so it impacts society. If you want to change society, as Gandhi says, you start with changing yourself. So that's basically the sales pitch for Social Alchemy Project Access Management that works on reducing greed. It's a anti-greed and human, well, it's a anti-corruption, pardon me, and to put in my dentures so I can speak correct. That's much better. It's an anti-corruption and human greed disabler. And it's to help gay men think right, and public health and sociology and psychology are all very aspects into the campaigns and the committees that I set up to promote the work of Tyler Lord Hamilton at Social Alchemy Project. So you can find a lot of my role modeling, a lot of my point and focus leadership, servant leadership on YouTube, as well as my shock rock as a comedy using dark humor, things like this. I don't quite believe that I need to essentially, put you know, a butt plug in my mouth. But I'm masculine, kind of sissy girly boy slash. Here is my candy and star and model, Tyler Hamilton self, my dramatist persona, my iconic star image, pansy, very eccentric gentleman, unusually sensitive, wisecracker elegance, fairy, whatever, trans man boy, whatever. I'm not a girly boy, I'm not a sissy or anything like this. So, I will not put my cunt mouth over just any cock. And men need to realize that. And that's why we have a spiritual center at New World Christ Church that is umbrellaed over Social Alchemy Project. So as you learn about Social Alchemy Project and do our awareness workshops and things like this, you find where you can put your hands into the work, and it's a win-win situation and even an investment for you working with myself. Now, at the church, we have a spiritual center not only just for social justice and democracy promotion, but community organizer work in the social sciences. And this is also infiltrated and also repeated reminiscence can be found at the Tyler Hamilton University College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, the Veranda Lounge, the Tyler Hamilton Library and Museum and Gallery. It's basically where we're at right now as Social Alchemy Project Access Management, using this space even for the church, because we are the clearinghouse for what you're going to learn at Social Alchemy Project Access Management. So I was looking at basically creating a hot Armenian gay guys of Glendale in San Fernando Valley. It's the only area out here that doesn't have any gay hot men. It would be called Hagagog, which almost sounds Armenian itself. Then I also have the sexual assault recovery and prevention center work. I have a lot of things that are going on into politics, all right? So, there's funny things that happen. You go into the store and you're like, God, beads are so gorgeous on a very thick, very 1940s, pardon me, I have to put in my digital so I can speak. Very 1940s Paris. And these thick, very great beads, and they're reflecting diamond reflected iridescent, Swarovski crystal. So if you can buy beads at a really cheap price as a girly boy or a sissy, or even if you're transgender or you're a twink or a ginger boy, I understand if you're logging on, or if you're a muscle boy, or you're liking, cross-dress or things like this, welcome, if you just found me. So, and things like that, I want you to find very important ways to finance your elegance as a man through the university, through the social science theories, and also practicum, the scholar practitioner work that I have done, and the conclusions I have made in the research area having to do with self-efficacy, to helping men understand the public health and social and personal responsibilities to reduce STDs, to address age discrimination, to confront the secret and the money hard-ons and the politics, which is, political homosexuality or ginger politics, and to reestablish trust with self and not use your money out of fear, making jealous decisions based on your greed and corruption, money hard-ons culture, but not necessarily media needs to be where you get all your problems, but your own media and your pornography. It is hard to find loyal men in a cheapened society. That's why I encourage people to learn how to spend their money. And when they save, they get really good results after a few months prior by doubling up on credit cards. We want men to understand that we care about your money. So I created social arts theory that has hymns in it. And my singing, and maybe your hard rock, or your painting skills, or you want to dance. There's different things in the theory, in the social arts theory, but I also created cock and culture theory and understand that there's male dominative, and you've come from out of a women's radical feminist movement that's told you have to be willing to be wrong. Men, now you need to be willing to be right. And it's beyond a Me Too movement, or a sexual assault recovery and prevention movement, or walking down the street in high heels with signs that say we support protection for women, we're anti-rape, advocacy group. So in the public sector, okay, and looking at civilian group lobbyists that are understanding what we're doing as community organizers, let's say, in Beverly Hills, there's also cultural mediocrity theory that we go through to help screen ourselves and to understand other social theories that are going to be developed. All these principles have virtue, and you can access them, of course, through the New World Christ Church. Now, in the New World Christ Church, it's going to be our own intercessory prayer, okay, standing in the gap, interceding, like apparently the Holy Spirit does with Jesus Christ to reach message to Jesus through our righteous prayers, so Christ goes to the Heavenly Father. Now that's quite a protocol, is it not? It's hard to explain. We're just looking for love. and simplicity by all means. People are tired of the cheap beads, yes, but if they're rightly shaped, they look like Swarovski, and people think you spent more money. So be elegant, and the people out there are not always people of their word. So we want to build a new infrastructure spiritually of yourself that comes from even the guidance provided through the Tyler Hamilton Foundation, the Research Foundation, at Social Alchemy Project Access Management, because everything goes through research and reaches our church for prayer and standing in the gap for those that may be hurting. When you're building an infrastructure, you have to have a problem statement, and you have to have a what? A purpose. And you have to have an idea that people out there really do not have morals. So the discussion of moral compass is going to be cliche, and it's going to be considered as political, socio-political, in fact, rhetoric. And in the world of psychological masculinity, let's get beyond that. And let's stop talking about the culture of war as well and Donald J. Trump. People want to say there is a one world religion, Catholicism, but they don't also include Satanists or Muslims, let's say. Everybody claims right now open hearts, open minds, open legs, whatever. Open purses would get your money. But nobody is saying in the world's global landscape of international religious belief, there's new religions like Baha'i, but looking at Satanists, Muslims, LGBT, everybody with gender, people that are working on restorative justice that have been incarcerated, incarcerated to put in my dentures so I speak properly. It is so exciting, though, to get this for and with yourself after you've been through people and have been dumped under the bus, even thrown underneath the carpets, treated like somebody might in a redneck city or the Midwest of the Bible Belt say porch monkey, referring to you being a black man, and speak you with derogatory by calling you faggot and scum of the earth. But they can find all these images in porn, and they don't have to personally take it to you. They can take it to their recreational watchings and do search engines online and find anything they want about piss and incest and being a human toilet, disgusting adult culture. People are tired of prostituting their eyes and their minds and being lonely and not having a long-term relationship and not feeling like they've really been properly loved. At a church, you have that with the all-inclusive world religious views. Yes, I'm an actor, female illusionist, woman impersonator, but I'm also educating you a little bit on this is not for sex or drag queen whore. It's about performance artistry, and it's about going in yourself, and the breath of yourself becomes your salvation. Being a psychologist myself and sociologist, well, psychologist in training, I use my entertainment performance. Multiple personalities, one may say I have. But it understands the personal and the social issues. But when it gets to the personal, what does it understand more of is the personality ills. Am I not right? I am not only excited, but about my sexuality, and my homosexuality is a gift. And I'm here to tell you, men, it is for you. You need to be loving and dating men and working on yourself, and just wait for something to just stick with somebody. Don't be two-faced. Give as many self-closures as you want. Spank your monkey as needed. And in public, if you do so, find out who's looking, and maybe they'll put you in their heart and they can intercede for you. Of course, being enamored by rough trade, the more men get. It's kind of like once you try it, you never go back. And it's a lot of misuse of freedom and abuse of social justice principle, as well as betrayal of democracy. We don't have to just say this is with the political elite as an issue. Everybody has the right to be who the fuck they want to be. Alright. You can charge by the inch. 7 inches is a good price and it's cheap. And it would be $70 then, times 3, because the 3 represents the USA, United States of America. And so it would be a total of $210 you would owe, because the politicians have taught somebody to do this in a gay mecca, where there's men that are really trying to be hot. Even myself, I have like this man, interest to be masculine. I'm not. I've lost so much because of substance abuse and what porn has done to me as well. So you want to be cognizant, am I not correct? When you are cognizant, something happens to you. You become expressive, and you show the dirty daddies you need not need them to have your what? To have their backs, to have your back anymore, pardon me. Dentures. It is a very alone life at your age, and becoming artistic and having reverence for that through a New World Christ Church and using comedy in your worship is marvelous. Yeah, Jesus is a cool guy, and he didn't have to go around putting black shadows underneath his inner pecs so you think he's more muscular like I do. He was expressive, and he had to have been artistic, and he had to have been able to laugh. See, people get bored, and they want a good show and party. And you may have never known that. Let me get a napkin more Kleenex. One moment. People get bored, and they need something, because it is about time that men get together with the people in their lives and come out of their closets regarding wearing women's panties and loving androgyny, and understand that Christ does not condemn this. This type of lifestyle does not make somebody less heavenly where they would not make it to heaven. This is about whatever your sweaty feet fetish leads you to. Hopefully it's reverence, where you what? You worship the Creator but not the creation, and create idolatry. You know this by trial and error. In law, with legal judgment, people in churches and the bigot Christians think if you sin, you ask for forgiveness, and then things and privileges will remain with you. And if you sin and you leave and you don't say your prayers, privileges will be taken away from you, and so you have guilt. People feel deranged and demented because it is a perverted, pedophilic, pornographic society, and it's sad because you cannot change this disturbing fact that people are allowed to be who they want to be, and this is why we have gratitude for what? For the measurements of laws and policy making. With this being stated, you may have dated hot, attractive women and have turned out realizing that they ended up becoming bitches and shitty people and not very nice. So you men swing over to a gay culture that you might not very much so find much spirituality. But you have this overbearing and confrontive need to calm down and to be loved and to love another man. We are all wearing hoodies, right? And tight pants, and we think we can make music. You know, we're not always on top of our fashion world in Hollywood. Fashion, church life, music is a political beast. But to love and be loved by same gender and be in the arms of same gender, you would really prefer that opposed to having sex with Donald J. Trump. Because you remember, he pays hard and he pays high. But you never marry him and you never fall in love. You were used and you used him. John Lennon said that we live in an era of love. Wanting to suck on mommy's breast to get lactated period blood with AIDS milk is your prerogative. Be your forbidden, your taboo, I don't want to hear about it. Life is more simple than even that. If you think and you're responsible on what? The open heart to becoming pure in heart, because there's not a lot of that in the gay community. You can get many men to do many things, but it's very hard to get them even wearing diapers. So men are not necessarily too far off acting retarded and Down syndrome and drooling at the mouth in some type of wheelchair, and they call this taboo and everything. And they like midgets, and somehow gay men really like watching straight men have sex with pregnant women. These things are going to lead you to what? To practice gratitude and not hate and fear, because you have a church that's acknowledging this in what? Your human fallen condition. The insanity, and of course I've talked about this, the sexual illiteracy and the bigotry and the inner homophobia. Not only just talking about aging. You gotta give Jesus a break because he's a cool dude, even though you've been hurt by Christians. You have to be a friend of God, because he will laugh a lot, probably at dirty jokes. He blessed Joan Rock. Got to put my dentures on, I can't speak. Much better, thank you for my dentures. He blessed Joan Rivers with talent and being able to tell people a comedian doesn't have to apologize. So if you want to use your shadow, according to Carl Jung, the unconscious, subconscious, you may do that. I'm thinking I just show up and just go where you go. Put one foot in front of the other and do the next indicated step. Just stay sober and go to your art and go to your social spirituality on the Christ mind, Jesus. I can be the next William without the suicide, the next comedian, Robin Williams, pardon me, dentures, without the suicide, because we all love him, and he's not going to let me go dark. Jesus can go take care of himself, and even Robin Williams. You can let people go. When they die, you let them go. So go fuck your racist and your sexist God. You say, hell, Lucifer, thank you for the divine sex after I walked away from it and the church and even the men that were being married to God with no honeymoon with Jesus. And now I realize that Lucifer shoots loads of fire semen up people's rectum. People are scared of raping the Virgin Mary by their shock rock and laughter. But Jesus is a cool friend, and you can relax. It's the beginning of the opus, the writing of your life for you to create a new story. To be done on the controversial topic of morality should strictly start with helping men. Talk come out, and their closed gay straight men alliance will realize it's okay that we are political and we understand sex and politics and the money hard-ons in a cock and culture theory or whatever theoretical framework that I work with, qualitative or quantitative. I'm not here and I'm talking now to become your famous social scientist or pastor, whatever. But I would love Tom Cruise to pastor the church. I'd love for him to consider Scientology and his own religious calling, and he could even help participate in constructing a religion through the New World Christ Church. So, in the super dark fantasies of all men, when you come out of that, you're still welcome to the church. I don't throw anybody out of bed as long as no disabled indigent in a wheelchair throws me out of their chair. I mean, I'm pretty reciprocal, and it's a joke. I use sexuality because it relaxes us, doesn't it? And we don't have to be so critical and perfect like everybody else in society. We are waiting around for a wheelchair star, aren't we? So why not talk about you being mentally ill and me living with my own emotional challenges? Because someone can always be a leader, since we believe that nobody can't be a leader. There's always the miracle, and God is always doing a new thing through what? Global consciousness of the people. Understanding universe and your responsibility for recycling. People have forgotten to recycle, actually. I'm not going to be preaching on climate change, and I can, but you know the drill. And ending animal cruelty. A church should participate in these types of ministries and these types of foregoing ventures to help the planet. And we could do that at New World Christ Church. Why don't your gay men just get it? That is a grow faggot, immature loser bastards that have run the protocols of what is required in order to what? Connect with a man and have sex when there's no dating and there's only party drugs. I know what it means to have Lucifer fulfill all your dreams, because Lucifer has a great body. With the types of sex and porn that somebody finds with substance abuse, or coming out of the closet, or wearing their wife's panty and too scared as a transvestite, pardon me, my dentures, they're too afraid to tell their wives about their curiosity. Even Tom Cruise may not be willing to consider the new thinking and what that could lead to if he was willing, furthermore, to become thoughtful of what? Calling yourself bi-curious. People are even scared to say that. So the types of adult activities you see out there on the internet coming from America, when in comparison to the sex scandals and fallen male political figures in U.S. government, it is the you that is the problem, because you are entertained by this, and it is the cultural mediocrity theory. This is where a pivotal religion, a New World Christ Church, using a original social science, gay, sophilosophical, and psychological theory, as I'm using in the social sciences. Because it is an anti-cultured gay community of gay men that are not honoring gaymanity, is what I have titled Gaymanity, which is the gayological vantage point of gay humanism. And how to lower STDs, and how to really be men and grow up and not be little boys. How do you do this and come out of the closet with social graces and elegance and not be ugly? And put yourself behind bars because you're hitting your wife because really you're gay and you hate women. Via gaymanity, and treat yourself like a human kindness society where you can self-govern yourself, and you can what? Change the pathways in your mind. Even those days when you say, Tyler Lord Hamilton, today I can't change the pathways in my heart, my mind, my head to think more better. So fuck you. That's okay, I'm here. And you have your social alchemy project access management, and you have your arts, and I have trained you. Disciples are not born. Disciples are trained. Leaders and teachers. What you do when I release you and I tell you, you are ministers just like myself. And I'm no more over the New World Christ Church than you. Men is a complicated study, and it's contradicting. and horrifying if unwilling to begin to start or continue the work of the soul. Man is honorable, but when he gets caught in his crime and you put him in a corner, he becomes very violent. And we call that a man. But through sexual violence amongst us gay men, we study the beautiful body and we can feel vibes, and it becomes really hypnosis for us, isn't it? And we're in a trance of watching porn for hours. When we walk away empty and we realize I have no relationship, or the relationships I do have, I've betrayed and I've lied to, and now I need to find the spiritual purpose of a New World Christchurch in my heart. People are thirsty while they're being thrusted in believing in God because of Christianity. It doesn't work that way, ladies and gentlemen. It works by falling in the pit and looking down and seeing hope. And your strength is your own ladder. How if, in a natural disaster, will this take me out with pain? How could there be a God that makes this emotional journey so hard for me? And why did God make sex of all types so easy with money? I'm not a conspiracist, but I ask political elite and the traveling people in and out of Washington, D.C., can you clarify why all of you are greedy when we have this purpose as men, because we are what? Afraid of death. Afraid of a car accident, afraid of losing your mortgage, afraid of cancer and afraid of death, afraid of not being accepted because of the way you look, being rejected by a family member because of the way you look in high heels or makeup or a purse, and being disallowed to go to another wedding in the family, and the person being married into the family learns about you wearing heels, and you're not allowed to go to any more family events. The discrimination is like syphilis and STDs. See, we're losing vaccine longevity in people because of what? Too many vaccines, and the body doesn't want to acknowledge that, right? So where are we in this? We're thinking one thing, and that is in a year, 2 years, we get rid of the current vaccine on syphilis. We have a backup which will last another 2 years, but we don't have another backup. So are you going to be the backup in the future? Are you going to be the bug in the Amazon that discovers the new vaccine? That's what I'm asking for you to do in the world of global economics and the world of ecosystems and the world of what we're taking the world into to clean us out and to kill us off. Have you ever had a pimple on your penis that you had to pop? It's painful. This transition, darling, is more painful than that. That's why as spiritual people with bad genetics owe this to themselves. Whatever the past that I've had, I want to be the best ever. But if I believe I want to be the best over people, that becomes a seed of corruption. Social justice, democracy promotion, I call it social justice prevalence and democracy promotion without force, is a community, is an ethical, welcoming community. Dentures. An ethical, welcoming, collective community that honors the research that I am doing, and you can help clean it out by proving that these theories work for you in a spiritual plateau, not only psychological in the social sciences that I'm helping men with in private practice. People do not show interest on going out of their way to help you, like you're willing to do for them, unless they can get something for free, handouts. People, parasites, and leeches make more people. People really don't live well at home because they feel what? Filthy minded, and the mind needs to be polished like the heart through what? Not the 3 things that most people are dedicated to, Netflix, texting, and pornography, but what? looking at the soul of man. Because man is what? He's a target, but yet he's a blanket for himself, and he's cheaply made thinking that he can keep himself safe from his government, away from his government. He just has to go forward and trust that there's good people in the government that are here to help. Yeah, people are Christians and love Jesus, but they're 10 miles away. So you have to call people out on this. Everybody wants a cafe society, all right? Everybody wants Hollywood to come back to the original early golden eras of MGM and cocktail drinking and long-length gowns with what? Gorgeous makeup. With starlets looking at you in the photography and saying you can look, but you can't touch because I've already been through men like you. Just look. You know. Everyone wants that cafe society. Everybody wants them to be of the same genetics. They all want the cabaret. They all want the party. They all want the Moulin Rouge. They all want the sex. When the day comes, the cafe society is really without the sex. It's with being unreachable and being indestructible. And as you've created boundaries to create yourself as an infrastructure for you, you've what? You've lacked a lot of years by being lonely and not having a mate. When the day comes and you get here, you say, well, this is what I've been looking for, right? Well, people are over there. Well, wait, rewind, pardon me. Dyslexia. People are over here right now with you because people are not over there. And when they are over there, they're all going to be rooting for you, or even people dealing you crazy traffic. You'll still be meeting humanity over on the other side. You're not going anywhere special, and you're not that special. I want people to relax in their gay mysticism and their gay psychic and prophetic abilities and their intuitions because they're transgender and they're mommies, boys, and girlies. Life can really change in 6 months, and sometimes we just don't know, except for having hope and looking up and saying there's social theories that we connect with science. Nature, why we're here, and questions about our day. People are tired of making money with liars and corrupt people and not gaining friends, peace of mind, and love. So, you can create a hiding place with Christ. Theoretically, it's possible. I can prove this to you in one of my sermons, lectures, and talks. But you can hide things as in your power, and you can become a shenanigan. People can become rotten very easily just because they think they want to be the best. Well, we're welcoming all world religions at New World Christ Church, including Tom Cruise, to engage in the show that we're filming, as well as the actual institutions, Social Alchemy Project Access Management, the Tyler Hamilton Foundation, the university, and the church. That is not corruption if you go in this direction, but it is if you're looking your life as a freaking schmuck shenanigan. People are hurting and they need co-partnership, and they want showmanship, and they want art. You know, one thing, when I've been working on my costume wardrobe attire, but I can show you it right now. That might help you really say, God, this is a spiritual heavenly thing that I'm creating through my art, and it's keeping me sober from substance abuse. So I wanted to show you because it's my own alchemy. I'm my own alchemist and self-govern myself. I teach men to do the same thing. So this is where it is. One moment, please. Okay, so this here is the headdress. It's very Paris 1940s. Okay, it's very, very magnificent and very gorgeous. And this, of course, is the back. It's said the back looks better than the front, but it's very, very intricate with beautiful material. And so we're going to go ahead and do this. And then we're going to have a highly thick beaded gown, very thick to the ground and very, very Paris 1940s. 1 moment. So, thank you very much. So for your eyes only, and I feature this in YouTube videos for shock rock, but this here I'm going to be using Swarovski crystal. It's all very beautiful, you know, Swarovski crystal. This is the flamingo. Very pretty Swarovski crystals, so very gorgeous. So, and then some gold and maybe some long stringed pearls. People don't have brains out there, darling, and they tell you things out of their integrity. And they tell you that, and of course they may be, in fact, doing the good things right when no one is looking. But if they're ignorant, they may not stem you toward the joy of what? Having your Gorilla Glue unglued. So I use in these a lot of cement adhesive things that dry fast. Pardon me, dentures. And what I do is that Gorilla Glue, if you put too much, it like bubbles up. It's like yellow. It looks like pus from out of, you know, something. It's yellow dry glue. It's like pussy and everything. It's disgusting. Somebody says it's like pussies. It's just so rude and derogatory, isn't it? But then you get another brand of the Gorilla Glue, and it puffs up if you put too much in it. The project, and it turns white. And it's very hard, like semen. I don't know, or saliva. It's just terrible. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is basically what we're talking about. We're talking about a spiritual community that I am seeking to create and to be a facilitator. Dankeschön, and I love you very much. Please, God bless you, and many thanks for your time. Oh, you know, I'll sing you a song. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. And he will lift you up. Alright, maybe I'll teach that more thoroughly, but that's just a little verse. So I hope you enjoy. God bless you. I love you to death. And I love you also to life.